Hello, everyone, and welcome today. We have Jamal here. And so, Jamal, for everyone, do you want to give a bit of an overview? When we first started working together, do you want to explain what was going on for you? Where were you at? A bit of context for people.
Thanks, Robin, and thanks for speaking with me. When we first started, I guess from a context perspective, I was shifting in my role. I was Chief Operating Officer and was shifting to Managing Director CEO role. So at the time, it was kind of this period where I was going, what do I need to do to shift from this operational mindset, having held quite a lot of the operational action activities, decision making, delivery, day-to-day interaction with my team and with the broader organization, to now shifting towards a more strategic mindset, to having to devolve some of my decision making in a very different way, and to start looking at other aspects of the organizations which I didn't really have to deal with in such nuance in the past. So things like governance, how do I actually present as a leader, as different type of leader? So it's kind of, what does that look like for me, going from, having to activate my little, I guess, piece of the pie, or as chief operating officer, versus then what does it look like with organizationally, externally with stakeholders, and having to kind of change those relationships as well. So coming from an internal team that also was having a little bit of, change. Change is always difficult for teams, and as we were having a change at the executive level, how do I guess, take that going forward? How does that change the relationship with my own new boss as well, who's the global CEO? So all these kind of interactions, as well as kind of, I guess, decisions around to go, is this what I want to do? What if not, yes. If so, how do I present myself?
It really does. Just you talking about it, kind of got tingles, and kind of I almost feel exhausted listening to it, because in actual fact, you're so right. Sometimes, working with people, we forget about the journey, right? Because in actual fact, at that moment, there is so much going on for you, and like you're in transition. You're going from that coup role to the CEO role, managing director role. But sometimes that change is easier if you're going into a new organization, because there's no context. You go in and you just kind of start afresh. Whereas transitioning an existing organization at that level, where people have got, it's a change for you, it's a change for the organization, it's a change in how people perceive you, and how do you influence that. So you're right, there was a lot going on back at that period of time. So let's kind of do a fast forward to now. 12 months on working together, where are you at now? What do things look like for you?
Very, very different place, which is really interesting, actually. And reflecting on that, there's so much was going on, and the things that, I guess, interestingly too, and just to add as well, Robin, from that, through that, into where we are now, it was organizational change, but then global crises. So
Yeah, that's right.
obviously, we
We
can
just throw
acknowledge
that in. I kind of forgot about that.
So it's not just that went through change from an organizational perspective, in my career,
Yeah.
but also now I'm in a place as managing director where I've had to deal with a pandemic. I think, through all the work we've done together over the last, I think probably 18 months now, so a little bit over 12 months, I think,
Yeah.
is, I'm in a much more confident, comfortable space around acknowledging and understanding who I am as not just a role, not just as managing director, but as a person, of what I want to achieve. What does leadership look like for me? And then what does that look like in the context of my role as managing director, the kind of things that I've been wanting to bring into the organization from a values perspective, from a leadership perspective, and being able to, I guess, stand ground with those and articulate those to my team. And also, where do I put my energy? So I think that's the biggest thing for me right now, is where do I, as managing director, spend my energy to make sure I can deliver for the organization, on behalf of the organization, with the organization? And how do I share power? Power dynamics, I think, comes so much into this conversation. And I feel like I'm in a completely different space now. All the things that took up my energy early on for that transition and for that change have sort of dissipated, and now my energy's focusing on the areas that I need to do and deliver on. Pandemic sort of helped with that a little bit as well, because it has really brought so much focus to so many people and brought the team together. But it's allowed me to accelerate a lot of that too. So I'm feeling in a really good place, working on very different things now to what I was 18 months ago, 12 or 18 months ago. And, a lot of it is about now, how do I get more confident and more, I guess, able to deliver that piece of in my work now on the extension of that, as opposed to the transition, and continue to devolve power and accountability. And I think you mentioned something which is really important. Transitioning internally, there's that big component of transitioning that power internally as well, and that accountability. And it takes people different speeds to do that. So I've had to learn now, the biggest thing I do now is I'm really clear in how I hand over accountability and power and decision making. And I continue to get more confident in that internally with stakeholders and staff and my team, who in the past have had to rely on me. So, that's been really useful in that transition for me.
Yeah. And I kind of like, back at the beginning, there was so much kind of happening and you were kind of involved in everything. And it was, but now it really feels like, this is me, this is who I am, this is how I'm doing things. And yes, there's these things kind of happening, but this is the direction that we're going to go in. It's like much more confident. It doesn't stop that there's ongoing challenges and things will happen, and next week there'll be something else, but it's a matter of there's a consistency, which is how I show up kind of through that, that you've developed over that time. So with that in mind, looking back over that last 18 months kind of period of time, what for you has kind of stood out, has been some of the most helpful kind of things to you? And I just want to leave it as open as that, because sometimes people like they can grab anything, and it's really interesting. So, looking over that journey, what was the things that were most helpful to you that could be good advice for other people to focus on?
Probably three things I'd like to share, I think that are really important. Number one, coaching.
Love that one.
Love that one. And I think that's a really important one I've learned through my career. No one taught me that. And, taking up coaching and different types of coaching throughout that period. And even now, we're doing a certain leadership coaching together, but you introduced me to other coaches to work on how I can speak in media situations, how I be comfortable kind of presenting. And that's a different type of coaching that I recognized as part of building up my confidence. So coaching, I think, is so important for any leader. And I think having known that earlier, with hindsight, I would have loved to have started coaching earlier in my career. And everyone I meet now, no matter their age, no matter their position, I say, if you can get some coaching in some way, shape or form, doing some readings, following some good coaches around like Robin and others, and kind of getting to know what is, how do leaders perform? What are the things that you can look out for? What are the things that you can build? Because everything is so different. So I think the coaching, the one-on-one has helped me a lot. The teamwork in the coaching too as well, those quarterly sessions you do, I found really useful, because you get to be around people who are not in your organization, but are in similar situations or are sharing things that you can then look at for yourself as well. So that's number one. Number two is energy. I think the way you use energy, and using energy on the things that create impact, as opposed to a negative energy. And I think that was a really big moment for me in our work. I spent a lot of time trying to bring some people on the journey, or to try and really, help some people who in reality never wanted to come on that journey. And I'm the kind of person who will probably be more patient, or will try harder with, to present a situation to people that will be a win-win. But coming to the realization that sometimes, that's never going to happen, because I'm actually not the right person to do that for them. It's not the right environment for them right now. So there's something else going in their life that I can't help them with, or there's a situation or a deal that will never, no matter how much energy I expend on it, will never come to the terms we want, because
managing
there's
that.
something there. It's just expectations are completely misaligned, values are misaligned. So, the moment I took the time to stop wasting my energy on people and on things that were never going to deliver impact for me or my team or my organization, the people that I support, I felt quite a lot of relief. I felt a lot of energy come back to me. I felt a lot of ability to actually deliver as well more in my role, so that was a big moment. And, that's something that I think is really important for anyone to think about, and I'd share, and that having that conversation and really, I guess, try and stay away from anyone or anything that drives you towards negative or energy that doesn't deliver, because it's a waste. So now I use my energy on people who are on board, people who I know will just need a little bit of time and I guess are worth spending the time on, because they are aligned from a values perspective, and that has a big impact. So we often forget to spend our energy on the people who are with us, as opposed to the people who
backing the winners.
Backing the winners and backing the people who are aligned from a values. And I'm very values driven, so I think that's really important. Brilliant. And the third one for me,
brilliant. And number three?
And number three is really, I got around, I guess, all the work we did around the Harvard negotiation project and understanding the other side. And I've always described it as I like to go into win-win situations. And the tools we did together really early on around understanding different perspectives and how we can bring that out to using different tools were just really foundational for me. And I think, anybody has a chance to be involved in that, in the negotiation tools or negotiation project, Harvard negotiation project with you elsewhere, I'd highly recommend that. I have found those tools something that I continue to use, and I've got the little pamphlet there, the one that always sits.
I do say to people, you should get those tools tattooed on your arms. It'd be phenomenal.
Right. So, and I refer to them all the time. There hasn't been a week that I don't refer to them.
That's awesome, and that's really good to hear those different things. And one, I did a video that is just going to kind of come out, and I said, and particularly, the first one that you said about getting help, having the humility, and the video's entitled "Real Men Get Help," because it's like this masculinity of, oh no, I'm okay, and it's just like, no, it's good to learn from your own mistakes, but far better to learn from other people. So, and I love sharing that.
And what's the thing about, I think, getting help for anybody?
Yeah.
It's about putting aside, and I would say, and I say this to my team now, because we've put in place, and I'm really passionate about this zero tolerance to bad behavior. And one of the conversations I have with my team is when we talk about bad behavior and that zero tolerance, it doesn't mean that we can't have conversations and we don't make mistakes. But in fact, we have to be open to have those conversations or for people to address that with us. And I think this is what seeking help or going and getting coaching helps with often, is that you've got to you can create your own safe environments too when you seek help. So when you seek help, you basically open the door for yourself mentally and physically to get that feedback. And that in itself allows you to learn and grow. And because none of us are perfect, we all make mistakes. And sometimes, I know I've called you a few times and said, hey, I've done this, Robin. I feel like I might have not been right by that person. Does it feel like I've been a bit too cruel or anything to you? And it's been great to get that feedback and go.
Always good to get those outside views. We all need them. No one's a single hold of the truth, but can we help each other and can we progress? Absolutely. So, well, thank you so much for spending the time to share a bit about your journey. I'm sure people are going to take a lot from that. So thank you very much for joining me, Jamal. And if there's any comments or questions for anyone, please put them below. I'd love to get back to you. Cheers, guys. Bye now.
Thank you.
If you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. Feel free to share with friends and check out what's up next for more videos from my channel.